That's Candice Johnson with the Jobs for Justice. They will be taking an action today at 11:30 at the Capitol to coincide with that joint budget committee meeting on prison utilisation. It is 8:18 and we turn next to Einstein. And Einstein, Bohr and Grandmothers. That's a documentary in progress that will have a preliminary screening at the Boulder Library, the Canyon branch, this evening at 7. It features 8 grandmothers, a witty 79-year-old man, and the philosophies of Einstein and Niels Bohr. I have one of the grandmothers joining me along with that witty gentleman. JoAn Segal is in the studio along with Len Barron. Thank you both for being with us.
Pleasure to be here.
Well, Len, you are well known for portraying Einstein on stage. What is this documentary, though?
Well, you know, the great gift of doing the Einstein for 20 years is discovering Niels Bohr. And I fell in love with Niels Bohr when I learned about his relationship with children. And so for the last 5 years, I've been doing Einstein and Niels Bohr, a fairy tale. And the thought came, you know, it's not a chronological thing. It's their actions and thoughts on education, on peace and justice, on sailing, on children. So it's an easy thing to do with an ensemble thing. And I thought, well, who should I do it with? And grandmothers came to mind. You know, when I was a youngster, I just turned 80. When I was a kid, elders were highly regarded and respected. That's been greatly diminished, at a great loss to children. So to have Einstein and Bohr presented by grandmothers, that adds a perspective that the one dreams about. And in fact, we dreamed it up and did it.
Well, JoAn Segal, you are one of the grandmothers in question. How did you get involved in this project?
Well, I've worked with Len on a number of other projects over the years, and when he invited me to do this, I was really enthusiastic, and it turned out to be so much fun. And the relationship among the 8 of us grandmothers, who varied widely in age, was just fantastic. And the rehearsals, which are included in this documentary, were wonderful exchanges of ideas, of stories about our own grandmothers and grandchildren, and there's ethnic variation among the grandmothers, so there were some interesting differences among us. It was really a wonderful experience.
Well, then, what is the real relationship then between grandmothers and Einstein and the plays that you've become so well known for, portraying Einstein and then Niels Bohr?
Well, you know, there are 400 books on Einstein and many on Bohr, and mostly they hone in on the genius. I wasn't interested in their genius because as geniuses they don't have very much to offer us. But in their everyday lives, the principles that govern their lives, fairness, beauty, and playfulness, those qualities are inherent for any one of us. And from the very beginning with Einstein, I wanted to show how useful they are in our daily lives. Nobody thinks of Einstein or Bohr as a model for their own lives. But indeed, being fair doesn't mean you're an intellectual giant. You don't need that. And being playful, that doesn't take a great deal of intellectual capacity. And a sense of beauty. You know, for physicists, when they were trying to figure out how it all worked, it was always the search for beauty. And it turns out it's also true of human relationships, because when things work, they're beautiful. When they don't work, it ain't so pretty. So it's those qualities that are inherent in anybody's daily life, that's the focus of the piece.
JoAn, how many grandchildren do you have?
I have only one.
Well, not only one.
She's wonderful. They did it right the first time.
They did it. They got it right. You didn't need to do any more. And so what does it mean for you to be a grandmother, and what does it mean for your grandchild to have that relationship with you?
Well, it's really a very wonderful relationship. There isn't anything else in the world that matches that. When you have your own children, you love them dearly and they love you, but you are so involved in being sure that they are properly fed and clothed and warm and that they learn to be good people, that you really are not as open to the kind of unassuming love, the fact that you will be loved no matter what, and that you have with a grandchild.
Well, I've seen that in my own family, the very special role grandmothers play. And so if people would like to go and see a preliminary viewing, director Robin Truesdale is actually looking for some feedback. Hopefully this film documentary will be completed by the end of the year and maybe hit the film festival circuit next year. It's happening tonight at the Canyon branch of the Boulder Public Library at 7. Tickets at the door. Len, final
Yes,
word?
you know, this project would have been impossible without Robin Truesdale. She has done an exquisite job of melding the rehearsals, the performances, and then interviews afterwards. What a joy it has been working with her.
Well, people can find out more at kgnu.org/morningmag or go along this evening. JoAn Segal and Len Barron, thanks for being with us.
Oh, it was a wonderful pleasure. Thanks.
TEDx is a hugely popular series of talks on a multitude of subjects that take place in countries around the world. TEDx Boulder